Oh, sweet.
Hello.
Excellent. Okay, so welcome to another Storytellers Happy Hour. I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm the founder and executive editor, and I do a whole bunch of other shit for Running Wild that now has 5 imprints, including the one that Teehee leads of Rise. And
Yay.
yay! And we're here. Well, it should be once a month, but it doesn't always happen, but it's all good. To basically imbibe and just BS. So, with that, I am going to hand it off to Teehee to go ahead and explain what we're going to do.
Yep. Hey, everybody watching on your screens. So, this is basically our storytelling happy hour. We usually draw from a deck that my friend Jenny gave me from The Moth. If you're
Mm,
familiar with The Moth, it started in New York. It's a big storytelling thing. But what they have is they have different prompts that encourage you to come up with stories. So, on the fly, I just pulled a card before we went live, and so that's going to be one of the themes. And then we usually just run into like several different kinds of stories. I will say, as a housekeeping note, my maintenance person is supposed to be coming at any minute,
oh,
so I might have to
all
like
good.
get up and go. The lighting is good for right now, but I also may have to turn on a light. And then the other thing is we have alcohol. I'm drinking a beer.
Woo! I have both gin and soda and a white wine because it's been that kind of year. I live in LA, just leaving it there. Okay.
Fair, fair. Oh, I was listening. I listen to this podcast every once in a while, and every episode they make a cocktail, and I was like,
Mm,
that could be interesting, but
oh my
that's
God.
also a lot of effort.
So, well, I mean, what we could do is you and I could kind of congregate before and come up with cocktails that we want to try, and then we could like theme it around whatever. Because
Yeah,
I picked this glass because it's an Andy Warhol glass, and I just thought it was cool and it complemented my outfit, and it turned out it complemented both of us. So anyway, whatever. We could totally just have fun.
yeah. I have quite a bit of liquor, so I could probably whip together some stuff. I'm actually not a big fan of cocktails, though. I'm more of a beer drinker.
Well, you could just
Um,
pick a beer that you love.
yeah.
I
Right
mean,
now is Pacifico. I really like Pacifico.
I'm either it's either if I do beer, it's either IPA or Modelo or oh, what is it called? Where it's tomato juice and
Oh, a
beer.
michelada.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love micheladas. Like seriously love.
I finally tried one for the first time. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? They're good.
Yeah. You can get them too with like mango juice or pineapple juice or but I admit I lean toward the tomato juice, but the ones in the States, they usually also have like a spicy bit to it. Um,
Yeah.
but
That's
it's
the
got
kind
a
that I tried.
yeah, I can't do Modelo. I can't do Budweiser. It has to be like Modelo. So
Mhm.
yeah,
I like Modelo too. I think like micheladas are interesting. They a little bit remind me of like because of the tomato juice, like a Bloody Mary.
that's true.
Yeah.
Totally.
Maybe, how about this? Maybe we could start with stories about liquor or cocktails.
Oh my God, we could totally do that. Yes, let's do that.
Awesome. Okay, okay. I'm like thinking about all the crazy. Okay.
I know. I
um.
mean, I know us both, so this is going to be insane. Oh, and by
Yeah.
the way, anyone watching, just if you have a question or a comment, just put it in the chat section of whatever wherever you're watching us because we're all over the world, and we will do our best to respond. If you're watching this and it's not live, like it's all good because I get pinged whenever there's a new comment, and I'll just share it with Teehee, and we'll come up with something. So
Yeah.
okay,
And if you have ideas for prompts of different stories you want to hear us just rattle out off the top, also throw those in the chat.
a
Do
hundred.
you want to start with the liquor story? I'm like, choosing between various definitions of hell.
So, all right, so I'm going to give one just because. So Teehee and I went to the same MFA, and so when you said this completely, it's the first thing that popped in my head. So it was, I was going to AWP. That's the Association of Writers and Writing Programs, and it was the first time I went with our like MFA. And I'll be honest, like, so I had been to ones before, and I always kind of felt like they were kind of snooty because it was always very like, well, I'm literary, and I, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. My default writing style is literary, but I read everything. I mean, everything. I went through an erotica phase. I very briefly went through a romance phase which lasted all of like 2 days because I got bored really fast. Um, because you can figure out the story arc pretty quickly, and it's like, anyway. But like, I read like all of Dune. I read like all of Tolkien. Admittedly, things like that. Like, I read the whole John Wick series, like all of it, because at the time I had the hots for some guy that I thought was super cute, and like for me, they can't just be cute. Like, they have to be cute and really super smart and like intellectually engaging and funny. And there's got to be like, I am so picky, it's fucking ridiculous. My poor husband, like, for real. Anyway, okay, so we're at AWP, and we had some authors who were our mentors at our. We went to Fairfield University, right? And we were blessed to have some incredible, I mean, mind-blowingly incredible mentors. Like Wally Lamb spoke at our school several times, and he actually still speaks to me, which I'm like, yay, oh my god, you speak to me. um and like oh my, I like Da Chen, and who I actually went there for Da, to be honest. um Joan
Love
Connor,
that.
who's a really well-known short story literary author. I mean, you name it. I mean, we're talking Oprah Book Club picks, New York Times bestseller. I mean, huge, incredible, amazing, amazing, amazing authors, right? Anyway, and some of them got snooted at AWP because they weren't like literary enough. And I was so embarrassed on behalf of AWP that they were being treated that way because they weren't like that. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, come on, guys, you should know better. You can be super literary and like groundbreaking and everything, and you can be a New York Times bestseller, right? It's rare, which means you should probably be super, super happy they're here. But it is possible. So anyway, so I had never had a martini before. And I was hanging out with, he knows where this is going. Like, the fact that you just immediately started laughing, I'm like, uh-oh. So before this, I had only ever had wine, beer, or like some kind of mixed concoction, right? And usually for me, mixed concoctions means there's some kind of like fruit juice or vegetable juice or something, in it. So it's not pure booze. So I'm hanging out with some of our fellow cohorts. That's what we were called. So these are just kids who were all in the same group of aspiring authors. And we're in, I want to say it was in the restaurant of the hotel where AWP was being held. And I ordered, I think it was a vodka martini. Because let's just say someone else who was in our cohort, who I really liked, and we were really good friends, and he was super hot, ordered one too. And I went, oh, yeah, of course, that's what I'm going to get. And by the way, my husband, I'm sure he'll watch this like after, and he'll be like, "What is wrong with you admitting this shit?" And it's like, oh well. By the way, I have similar admittances regarding myself and my husband. So, ha. Anyway, so so we're sitting in the, and it was one of those restaurants where it's like an open area in the center of the hotel. I mean, it was an actual restaurant, but like so you could see everybody like walking around, blah blah blah. So this tasted like water. Like it was like nothing. Like there was, I mean, it was a vodka martini. Now, anyone who's watching and you don't know, a vodka martini it's basically pure vodka with ice. It's like it's just been chilled, right? So there's something about it being chilled. It cuts the alcohol flavor. So like you can chug this fucker like no problem and have no, so I mean, now I did eat something, right? Because we were there hanging out, whatever. I have one and I'm like, oh my God, that was fabulous. And I order a second one. And we're talking and talking and talking. And I'm ordering stuff like I never order because like I am not one of those people who's blessed with like a super high uh what do you call it? Like
Tolerance?
not top. Well, no, I actually have a way. My tolerance is probably way too high. Um, caloric intake. Like I can't eat. I go grocery shopping and I'll see something like, oh my God, I want that so bad, and then I'm like, and I can't have it because I'll eat it. And when the first time I said that to like a friend of mine, they were like, "What do you mean? Doesn't that mean you should buy it?" I'm like, "You don't understand. Like I will it's not like I can have something that I really enjoy in my house and eat it over time. Like I have those types of things have to happen like when I go out to eat, you know? So anyway, so like I'm sure we went through like guacamole and like freshly fried French fries and like all the stuff that's like, oh my God, yes. And also, oh my God, I cannot have this kind of thing in my house. Like, no. And so I went through one, I went through two, and we're talking and talking and having a fabulous time. And it's I'm not going to name anybody because I'll humiliate them by them just anyone knowing that we were there. But it was like half cohorts and half mentors from our program. And then, we're having a great time. And I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit buzzed, but I'm not like, woo. So I order a third vodka martini. And everyone at that point they're all like, oh well, she still seems okay, right? Because like I wasn't like slurring or anything. So time passes, blah blah blah, and then I order my fourth, and one of our dear friends whose first name starts with a C and last name starts with an M, he was like, Lisa, I don't think you should do that. And I'm like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. I'll prove it. So I get up to go to the bathroom and I can walk normal, right? And I come back, I'm like, see, it's all good. I could walk normal. I can do a fourth. And he's just like, Lisa, you should not do this. I'm just telling you, you should not do this. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh my God, Teehee. I think I sucked that down like it was water for real. And the only thing I remember the waiter coming. I remember handing my card, and then I think I just literally passed out. I just completely passed out, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God. And I woke up like head down on the table, and my card with the bill, like still there for me to, sign it. I mean, now I don't blame them. Like everyone just left me, but I was safe. Like there was, and I thought, oh my god, I can't believe it. I freaking passed out. So I sign it. Now, mind you, at this point it's like 2 in the morning, right? And thankfully I was staying in the hotel, which everyone knew I was staying in the hotel. So it wasn't like a thing like, oh my God, we left her and she's gonna have to walk 5 miles, or anything like that. So I don't remember. I mean, I remember waking up and I remember signing my bill. And actually when I signed, I didn't realize I had had 4 martinis until I signed the bill. And I was like, oh my God. And at that point, one of the bartenders was the ones who told me what's in a martini. And I was like, wait, what? It's just pure vodka? And he was like, yeah, unless you order it with like, you know, a little bit of like olive juice or, anything like that. Like it's basically pure alcohol. And it's like 2 to 3 shots depending on how generous they are. And that's when I was like, oh my God, I think they gave me all like 3-shot martinis. I was so,
That's 12
yes,
shots.
I know I was. And I had it over like at least 3 hours. So that's not awful, but it's also really bad. So thankfully I didn't have to speak in any like panels or anything. I went back to my room. Oh my God, Tahia, I just fucking passed out. I actually don't remember the next day. I I was so like in hangover mode. I remember feeling like complete shit. I remember taking like 3 Advil. I remember going out of my way to have like a lot of carbs with breakfast. I remember seeing Chris after, oops, and he was like, "Are you okay?" Well, it doesn't matter. No one knows the rest of it. So, are you okay? And I was like, I'm all like, oh, I'm fine, whatever. And um, so let's say ever since then, I have never had a vodka martini again. I've always had gin martinis, which anyone who knows the difference, it kind of makes no sense, but it also does because gin, even when it's super iced, you can still taste it,
Yeah.
right? So that's my one of my multitude of booze.
I also like gin for that reason because you can pace yourself more when you know it's alcohol. Like it stings a little and you're like, okay, like it's supposed to do that to
Mm-hmm.
warn you.
Mm-hmm. And like the same with certain tequilas. Like there are
Yeah.
certain tequilas I prefer because it gives you that tequila flavor. It's more like a gin. And because I can't do cheap tequila, like I just don't like the flavor. No,
No, the
what is
hangover
it? Is
is
it Patron?
terrible.
Patron I can do. Like usually I'll do like a Patron margarita, and I have a specific restaurant in Burbank who knows me for like the last decade because I used to work in Burbank. And I'll go there and they have the most amazing fresh guacamole, fresh fried chips, and I don't have to order a Patron margarita there because they give me like their top of the line. What is it called when it's a house? Yeah, house margarita, house tequila. So
Mhm.
like I'm okay, but I know you know what I'm talking about. Like when it's cheap, it's like oh my God, and you don't want too top of the line because you can't really taste the tequila. Is that does
Yeah.
that make sense? Yeah.
Tequila hangovers are like one of the worst kinds of hangovers. The last time, so like my boyfriend is a private chef here in Puerto Vallarta, so guests tip
Jealous.
him with booze. Oh, it's great. He's an amazing but he gets tipped a lot in liquor. Like people just give him bottles of liquor.
Uh,
So one night we were drinking, and we were drinking beer. Then we ran out of beer. We were too lazy to go downstairs to the corner store and buy more. And we were like, "Oh, we have liquor." So we open up the tequila and just start drinking that on the rocks, like not even a mixed drink,
oh my.
just tequila and some ice, watching TV, laughing, had a great time. I woke up dead to the world the next day, like absolutely awful, and like couldn't keep down water, and had to
Wow.
work, and I had like 5 hours of Zoom calls. And I kept lying, being like, something's weird with my internet. I have to go off camera. But that's because like my eyes were like bloodshot. Like
Oh,
I just looked awful and just white knuckled it. But
oh, you poor
this is
thing.
my this is my story. It's maybe not a cocktail story, but it's a liquor story.
Okay.
It's also a college story. I was an undergrad.
Mm.
I had never drank scotch before. So I'm in college. I'm doing a summer semester because I'm trying to get out of college quickly. I went to college in the rural South, right?
Ew.
And so it's like,
I mean,
yeah, it was
oh,
weird. Yeah,
yeah.
it was weird. We were in the middle of nowhere. There's like really nothing to do. Kind of scary as a person of color. So I was like, every summer I was doing summer semesters. I got out of there in 3 years, thank goodness. But I was taking a summer semester, and a friend who I will call Scott because I don't talk to him anymore, and he no longer drinks because of this weekend.
Oh,
So
really?
my friend Scott, yeah,
Okay.
texts me and he's like, "Oh my god, my girlfriend broke up with me." And I'd known him for like a year, year and a half, and only knew him in the context of this relationship with this girlfriend. So I was
Oh,
like, "Oh
okay.
wow, like that's crazy." And so I was like, I was supposed to do something else, but I canceled plans because I was like, "Oh, I think Scott needs to like hang out with someone." Like I got this impression when he was telling me over text that like when couples break up and they kind of like divvy up the friend group, and I was
Oh,
like,
ew, they
"Oh,
do that? Ew. I'm
well,
sorry.
young people, yeah, we were in our 20s and stupid.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay, okay. Sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
So I was like, I was actually worried that he was going to lose a lot of friends because his girlfriend was very charismatic. So I was like, let me put in the effort to go over, hang out with Scott. So, like, there's nothing on TV. There's like some marathon of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I had to stop watching because that show was a bad influence on me. Um, but we decide, he was like, "Oh, I
You're
have this
gonna have to
bottle of."
talk about that, just so you know. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there's so many of my terrible college stories started out with we were watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it gave us an idea.
Oh my god, really?
It's not the takeaway that you should be getting from that show.
Dude, I never actually watched a show, and I came up in Camden, New Jersey, which is across from Philly. And so I lived in Philly for a while. I own a condo in Philly. So anyway, go. I'm sorry.
Okay, so he's like, I have this bottle of scotch. I've not opened it yet. I was like waiting for some occasion, but fuck it. I got dumped today. So we're going to drink scotch.
Hell yeah.
Pours out a shot. We both think it's disgusting. And it turns out we both have never drinking scotch before. So he gets a different
Oh.
bottle of vodka and spikes a bunch of Gatorade. And so we do shots of vodka, chasing it with Gatorade, or shots of
Oh
scotch, chasing it with
no.
Gatorade and vodka, watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Dude, you were fucking buzzed as hell. Oh my
At
god.
some point, yeah. And I remember laughing, chilling, and I was like, oh, Scott seems okay. He's really handling this breakup well. And then I black out. Like completely stop recording. Like I come to, and it's later on at night, and we're outside, and we're actually outside a party, and Scott's girlfriend is there, and she's like saying something. She's like not talking to Scott, but she's talking to other people and being kind of a bitch. And
Ew.
Scott's like, let's make her jealous. And then we start making out. And then I black out again.
Oh my. Oh my.
because we were drinking apparently at the party. I
Mm.
come to in the backyard from Scott's apartment, like vomiting in bushes, and then he hands me more alcohol, and then I black out again.
Oh
I
my god, you
come
poor
to
thing.
it's the middle of the day. We're playing poker outside with these like redneck people I've never met my entire life.
Mm.
And one of them has a gun on the table.
Oh my
And there's like
god.
some sort of argument. And Scott's like, "You have money, right?" And I was like, "No, like I'm a broke college student." And he was like,
Yeah.
"But you can get money from like ATM." And I'm like,
What?
"No." So then I take another shot of scotch, blackout again. Uh, and finally come to it's in the morning.
Mm.
I wake up in a bed that's not mine. And I am butt naked. And I look over, and Scott is in bed with me, and he's butt naked. And he's like, "What the hell happened?" And I was like, "I don't know. I should get back to my dorm. I'm supposed to do something on Saturday." And he like checks his phone. And he's like, "It's Sunday." I came
Oh
over to
my
that man's
god. You missed a
house.
whole day?
I came over to his apartment to start drinking with him on Thursday.
Oh my god, you missed 2 days? Holy shit.
Yes,
Holy shit.
lost 2 whole days. I have no clue how we got out of whatever situation where we owed people money playing poker.
Oh my
Uh,
god. Oh my god.
it never came up again.
All right,
Thank
now
goodness.
wait. Now, does he know you? Like, I'm meaning, like, do you still talk to him?
No. So what happened after that? Because he was like, "I don't remember the weekend." I was like, "I don't remember the weekend either." And he's like, "Do you think we had sex?" And I was like, "To be honest, we were so drunk. I don't think it was possible to have sex."
That's that's fair. No, 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 that's totally fair. Yeah.
Like, and I was like, "I'm not going to tell anybody anything. You don't have to tell anybody anything. We'll just keep this between us."
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm going to go. So I walked back to my dorm, get in bed. I took a shower and then get in bed, trying to like sleep it off because now the hangover is really starting to come in. Like I just, when you're drinking to chase the
No, I do.
hangover
Oh my
away,
god, I hate that. And like,
and so
just
the
let me
second you,
sleep for like a billion years, and then I'll wake up and
yeah,
I'm fine. It's
yeah.
seriously, yeah.
So then I get into bed and I'm about to go to sleep off the hangover. My phone rings and it's Scott. And I was like, "Hey, buddy, what's going on? How are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm in the hospital." And I was like, "Oh, God, what happened?" And he was like, "I tried to kill myself."
Oh my
And I was like,
god.
"What?" He cut his forearms lengthwise. And so he's like,
Oh.
"Yeah, I'm in the hospital. I'm on suicide watch." He's so calm, so calm.
Hmm.
He's like, "I'm on suicide watch. Like I don't have my phone because like the ambulance took me from the house and they didn't grab like so he's calling me like from the hospital and he's like,
Yeah,
"I
yeah.
need you to call my ex because she has my parents' phone number and like they know her and so like my parents need to be alerted, but it's probably best that they like hear from her and not you." Uh,
But how would they know? They wouldn't know. I mean, I understand. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
20-year-old logic. Yeah.
Understood. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
call the girlfriend is like, "Your ex is in the hospital." And she's like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "I did not do anything that I can remember because I lost 2 days with your ex." But I was like, "But I'm sure he's fine." Except for he did try to kill himself. But other than that, I think he's fine. Uh, but like, you didn't call his parents. You should probably go to the hospital. But she's like, because she remembers all
Mhm.
of the weekend. She only saw us that Thursday night when we were making out to try to make her jealous, which
Yeah,
she
yeah.
did not approve of. And was like, "That just looks really desperate," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Yeah, I was intoxicated. Of course, it was a bad idea, whatever." And so we both go to the hospital. She calls the parents, and then we both go to the hospital.
Mhm.
Um, Scott decides that he's done drinking and needs to go to rehab once he gets out of the hospital. So he drops out of school, goes to
Mhm.
rehab. Me and the girlfriend visit him all throughout his time in rehab. He's in like a facility
Mhm.
that's not far. So like on weekends, we would like drive down there, which is weird because we would be hungover as shit.
Mm.
And go into like an alcohol rehab treatment facility.
Wow. Oh my
Like,
god.
we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem. Scott has a problem. Um,
Okay.
he gets out of
Wow. Oh my
rehab. He
god.
moves back to Atlanta. He never came back to that town again. And as much as I know, never drank again. And seems happy. But he also did the thing of like, I need to cut off my friends who are drinkers because I'm changing my life. And I was like, totally fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
Like,
All right.
super support you in your journey.
So I have two questions for you, and they're like I'm down with like I'll answer the same questions. So one, when did you know you were gay? And two, when did you know that you really enjoyed alcohol?
So, okay, the first one is easy because I think I always knew that I was gay. There's
Mm,
this thing like, you know, you might not know what the word gay is, but you know that you're not like other boys. Because, like, in
yeah, yeah.
kindergarten, everyone gets a crush in kindergarten. My crush was on a boy. I have a very specific memory in my family. We were channel flipping one night. I think it was in second grade,
Mhm.
and just flipping channels, going through or whatever. And we ended up, some channel was showing a Mr. Universe pageant, like a male
Oh,
beauty
yeah,
pageant.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like, let's watch that. Like, I got
yeah.
so excited. It was like glued to the television.
That's awesome.
And my dad was really mad and stayed mad for a long time. I think it was I think it was pretty obvious.
I
Um,
see. Got it.
in my family too, on both sides of my family, there's a lot of history of alcoholism.
Mm.
So I also kind of knew I was going to be a drinker because I was around. My mom does not drink, and she was very like adamant about not drinking around us as kids. But whenever we went to like family gatherings, there was always alcohol. So like the first time I got
Oh.
drunk was, I think, also in third grade at a powwow.
Oh my
Um,
god, really?
yeah, that we were going to this
Wow.
powwow because we have like a bunch of family there and everything. And my mom was like, "Don't get drunk, kids." And we're like, "We're kids. Like,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to get drunk." But adults got us drunk.
Okay.
And it was I remember because it was my first drink ever. It was a strawberry daiquiri. Uh,
Those are good. And they're like vodka martinis, like for real. Like you don't know it's booze. I'm just saying.
mhm. I
That's
was
another on
told
my
that it
like
had
no
no
it's not
alcohol.
happening list. So yeah.
Yeah. I was told it had no alcohol in it, but I definitely got drunk with my cousin. We ended up dancing to the Macarena a whole bunch, and then he threw up everywhere. I did not throw up everywhere.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
And I wasn't hungover. But
Well, they are
then,
fucking kicking as long as it's good booze. Like, yeah.
yeah. And I think, like, as a kid, I might have been too young for hangovers.
Mm,
Or maybe I just didn't understand what was happening in my body the next day. I don't remember being
that could
hungover.
be. That could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. Yeah.
The other crazy thing, my mom's not on social media, so she's not going to see this. But me and my mom had an arrangement when I was in high school
Okay.
that if I didn't go to high school parties, I could drink at home every day. So
Ooh.
starting at like 14, I was having shots of vodka for breakfast and then going to school.
Wow.
And for a little bit, you're tipsy for first period,
Yeah,
but
it's
then
not
you
gonna
develop a
lie.
tolerance.
If you're lucky, it's like a couple of hours. If you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I had a friend who would smuggle alcohol. She was also like a super overachiever, straight A student. But she had vodka and Gatorade. So I'd have vodka for breakfast at home, walk to school.
Dude,
Me and
that's
my
deadly.
friend,
That is
yeah,
deadly.
yeah, me and my friend would like have a little bit of a mixed drink before class and just like
Mm,
go along. And I think what happened, one, a couple of things good and bad happened from this. One, it really institutionalized or normalized for me the
mm.
idea of drinking every day. Like since then,
Uh,
I do drink alcohol every day. I do not always get drunk, but like I'm like, oh, it's a day. I should have a beer.
yeah.
Like I should have a beer with dinner. I do not drink while I'm working, but when I'm not working, I'll drink. Also, it makes it normal to like drink first thing in the morning. Like when I'm on vacation, I will drink first thing in the morning, or just a drink. And
Oh,
then
I
the
see.
other thing, good or
You need
bad,
to go on a cruise.
I
Seriously. Because cruises are like it, yeah. Actually, so I will arrange uh for a Running Wild cruise only for those who are of the central group. I did that for our 5 year, and we're about to hit our 10 year. So yeah, yeah,
heck
yeah. All
yeah.
right, let me see what I can do. But dude, like for real, they'll do whatever the expletive you want, and it's
Mm,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I think that drinking every day before school, and then by the time I got to a senior, it was before school and after school. So like a
Mhm,
shot before school and then a shot when I get home. I think
mhm.
it gave me genetically, I was gonna have a high tolerance for alcohol, but that really gave me a high tolerance for alcohol because once I graduated high school and went to college and started going to
Mhm,
college parties,
mhm.
like I would drink an entire party out of all of their alcohol, like,
Wow.
and walk out. And people are like, how the fuck does this guy, like, even here in Puerto Vallarta, bartenders are like, they're like, do you count how many beers? Because we're counting how many beers you drink in a night. And like, you drink a lot and you're not drunk, which is usually 10 to
Well,
12.
all right. It's not that you're not drunk. It's you're buzzed, and then you come over it, and you have another, and then you're buzzed, and you come over it, and you have
Yeah.
another. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I call professional drinking, where you're just sustaining a buzz over a long period of time,
Mm,
which was fun in college. I also tried to do that of like, how long can I be drunk
wow. Yeah, yeah.
on like a weekend? And apparently, you can be drunk all weekend. Alcoholics know this. You can be drunk all the time if you want. Uh,
But that's not fun. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
yeah, as terrible as I sound, I will say there are totally times where it's absolutely necessary to be sober, like driving a car, going to work, having to like represent yourself in public in a professional capacity. Like those are all like you need
Bring
to
it.
be sober throughout life. But
Yeah,
when you want to drink, you should be able to drink,
yeah.
and you should not be drunk at school. I
Well,
guess I should.
well, you need to be smart about it, right? Like, don't. Yeah, be smart about it. I'll just leave it there. Okay.
Yeah. The young kids, though, they're not drinking these days. So I'll flip it on you. So how
They're
old were
fucking
you the
getting
first time you had?
high. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What did
they're
you say?
super getting out. How old were you when you had your first drink?
Oh wow. Honestly, I don't know. Um. Ooh. Oh boy, is this gonna go viral? Whoops. So I was on two shows, Dance Party USA and Dancing on Air. Dance Party USA was a local live stream show basically. And it was just a bunch of kids in Philly dancing, and then Dancing on Air was on the USA Network, and um, certain kids were chosen to be regulars. And all that meant was they would highlight you on like each episode. So I was one of those kids. Admittedly, I don't want to say that I was like by default, like boom, she's on the show. We'll pick her. Like I was on as like a guest. That's what they called like other kids who were on the show. And one of my best friends, and she's still one of my dearest friends to this day. Her name's Heather. She was like, "Look here, bitch. You best not fuck up." I love her so much. I mean, I seriously love her so much because she always dared me. And she always was like, "You need to stop like not acting like you can't do shit because you not only can do it, you can like master it." And I was just like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so I was there as a guest, and I like did these I used to be able to I can't do this anymore, but I could do high kicks that like it went like this, right? So I just told like all the kids around me, like, all right, can you like move? Because then I can do my high kick. And they were at first they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, just do me a favor. Give me like a minute. And then when they saw me do it, they were like, holy shit, you can do that, you know. Anyway, so I want to say like the third, not even the third, it was like the second time I was on the show. The host at the time, Andy Geary, came to me and he was like, I think you have to submit to be a regular, because he saw me do like the right, and I guess he thought I had enough I was charismatic enough that people would like be interested, right? So I was like, okay, you know. So I submitted, blah blah, blah, whatever. Anyway, so once you're a regular, which by the way, I'm probably making this sound super like simplistic, but I'm sure it was like crazy hard to become a regular. And so I was a regular on both Dance Party USA and Dance on Air. And we would basically tape shows Saturday and Sunday, all like Saturday all day, like no shit, like at least 4 or 5 shows a day on Saturday. And then whatever we couldn't like make, we couldn't do on Saturday, we'd do on Sunday, right? And this was before there was uh reality TV.
Yeah.
So this was like this like blend of like live streaming and reality TV. So all of us regulars, like honest to God, you were so goddamn tired because you would record what, like 4 shows a day. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
4 1-hour shows a day.
Yeah.
Unscripted, well, relatively unscripted. So when we were done, we would typically end up at someone's house. And the first time I drank, I have to think about this for a sec. I think I was like 14 or 15. And it was a whole bunch of us at someone's house. Teehee, for real. I don't even know whose house. I have no idea. I like, all I remember, I drank a lot of something, and someone who will remain nameless So he had been like casually dating. I was like 16, 17 actually, come to think of it. And he was casually dating this one uh woman on our show. Both of them were very popular. They had a lot of followers. And I'm like, how do I put this without him getting like humiliated? Okay, so he wanted to make her jealous because they had been in a relationship for a while. And actually, to be honest, they're married now. Like,
Good for them.
yeah, yeah, totally. All I remember is we were at a party. We were drinking like stuff like tequilas and like all these mixed drinks. And we did one of those like round, like, uh, um, you answer a question.
Oh, like truth or dare.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so one of us lost something and we ended up in a closet, and he flat out, like for real, he says to me, oh my God, okay, so we need to at least make out. If we could have sex, like so that H, fill in the blank name, because she needs to like get jealous and understand our relationship, blah blah blah. I'm hyper
7 minutes?
huh?
7 minutes in a closet?
Dude, it was like, I mean, it was supposed to be like however long. So I'm like, okay, right? And so I'm totally like, I've never been drunk before. I'm completely shit faced. And like, we're making out, and I'm like, I'm not enjoying this because I know he actually has absolutely zero like interest in me. This is all about like fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
So we, I don't know what happened. At some point, somehow I stopped it, and I was like, I'm good. All right, let's go. Out, you know. And I don't remember the next day or what happened, but I remember the next day. The next day, oh my God, Teehee, that booze was such shit. Like, it was not Patron. It was so bad. It was so awful. I was so sick. I was sick for days. I want to say
The double day hangover.
I was like in my bed. I want to say for like 3 days. It was so bad. But that was my first official like getting drunk hangover.
I remember the first time that I got drunk at a college party was also the first time that I got high
Oh.
and like, on marijuana, because like I've always been an alcohol person,
Mhm.
not so much a weed person.
Mhm.
And like now I like weed, but it really depends on the context of the situation. Like I don't do it all the time. I'm an alcohol person. But
Understood.
I remember like the first couple of times I tried it, like I couldn't breathe in properly, so I wasn't getting high. But I know I remember when it worked because I felt like I was like a stand-up comedian on a stage. Like I felt like there was a spotlight on me, and I was like telling stories and cracking jokes, and people were just laughing. And like, you don't know if you're funny or if it's just that everyone is high, so everyone's laughing because that's what you do when you're high.
Mhm.
But it was amazing. And then you hit that wall, so like, because marijuana can make you paranoid.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Well, that's true. Yeah.
And that's the worst feeling in the world. Like the first 5 times I got high were amazing. I was like, I need to be a stand-up comedian. And then one day it was just like,
And they're like, "Oh my god, I'm not."
yeah. I was like at a different kind of party with a different vibe and had got high, was like cracking the jokes and nobody was laughing. And like I wanted to die. Like I could not get out of there
Oh
fast
god.
enough. And then, like, the other thing about being high is, like, once you get there, it just has to work its way through your system. So, like, I'm trying to, like, drive home, and I'm like, fuck, I'm on drugs. And then, like, you get home and you can't really do anything because you're overthinking everything. And, like, not great. So, I
Oh
guess
my
this is the
god.
question. When was the first time that you got high?
Oh my god, got high? Wow. Okay, this is dramatic. The first time I got high, so my first marriage, I was married to someone. I mean, he's a lovely person. His intentions are fabulous. Uh, but there was some like my father had been living with us for a while, passed away, and there was something that I knew something wasn't right. And I said, "Okay, I really need to I need to jet. I just need a long weekend away." And because uh to be honest, he I couldn't feel. Like, for those watching, I don't know I don't know how this comes across, but there are times, well, I don't know that I can speak this on your behalf, but I like if someone something said something to me that should evoke emotion, I could not feel.
Mhm.
And I was such in I was in such a place where I couldn't feel. I was like, okay, I I just need to go to a friend's house for a couple of days and I need to chill, right? Like at that point, I just thought I needed a vacation. So I went to a dear friend's house, and on the second or third day, all of a sudden, all of these emotions just came, like, I mean, like through. And I was like, oh my God. Because I had been suppressing all of these emotional reactions to my then husband's behavior for 8 years. And I didn't know what to do with it. So I'm like, wow. Well, I need a divorce. I know that. Like, durr. And then I'm like, okay, so that fine. So the friend I was staying with, she and her husband were very much into smoking pot. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. Right? Holy shit, Teehee. I took like one hit. So I am not someone that does well with CBD. I was so paranoid.
Yeah.
Like, now, I mean, mind you, I was buzzed, right? And but like, I knew I was paranoid. I knew that what I was thinking didn't make sense. I knew. So for me, it didn't work, right? And
Mhm.
it was like, I just want to go to sleep. I just need this. I need this to wear off, so I don't feel it anymore, and then I'm asleep, and all's fine. Please, So honestly, that was the very first time I was ever high, and I was like, "Oh, that was the first time I was ever high." Period. And that's when I knew I can't do.
Yeah,
I can't smoke pot. Like
it's
seriously.
it is a different drug entirely. Like I think like I am so well attuned to alcohol. Like I know how my body reacts to alcohol. I know how I am on alcohol. I know how to gauge myself with alcohol. But marijuana is a different creature. And like I like slowly over time have dipped my toe. Like maybe about once a month, there's a guy in my town that sells pot cookies at the different bars, and
Are
his
they good?
cookies are, they're really good. They're really good, edible cookies, but they're strong.
Oh, got
So
it.
maybe like once a month, I'll buy a cookie off of him, and I never eat the whole cookie. I just have like a quarter, and then it like hangs out in my pocket and it completely crumbles into whatever and I throw it away. But like yeah, maybe like once a
Got it.
month I will get high off of an edible. That's like the most frequency that I think I can handle. A lot of people in my family, they're like everyday smokers. I don't know how people do that, but they don't know how I do everyday
Oh
drinking.
my god, agreed. Oh my god, agreed. Like if it's adjusted so that I don't there's something in pot that makes you paranoid. Like like I can do that, but I can't I yeah,
Yeah. Because well, and alcohol is a depressant and marijuana is a stimulant.
agreed. Yeah.
And like, I don't know. This is maybe too much info. I have tried
Do
a
it.
lot of drugs. I've tried a lot of drugs, and I thought for the longest time that I did not like stimulants. I like some. There are a few drugs that I will never try ever. Like I will never do meth. I grew up in
Oh
Iowa in the
no.
'90s when meth like destroyed whole communities in the Midwest. So
There's
like I
no
grew up
point.
watching that. Never.
No point.
No point. No point. Like
Mhm.
that drug scares the crap out of me. Fentanyl scares. So yeah, I was talking to somebody about this a couple months ago, and sadly, it was at work. So maybe it wasn't the most appropriate conversation. But I was like, because of fentanyl, I'm so afraid to try drugs. So I think like my drug doing is just over, which makes me feel freer to talk about the drugs that I've done.
Oh,
Like,
got
because
it.
I'm not gonna do it again. Like I've done coke before. I've never paid for coke.
Never
Um,
done that. Nope.
it's fun, but
Is it?
yeah,
I
yeah.
never actually. I've only booze and CBD. That's it.
Mm. The problem with coke is the come down. The hangover from coke is terrible. You are a useless person for like 24 straight
Oh,
hours.
wow. That's a lot.
All you can do is just sit there and like stare at the wall and nothing else. But for like the 30 minutes that you're on top of the world, you really are on top of the world. It feels really good. I used to do so much, not so much, but I used to do a lot of coke when I lived in Texas, and
Yeah.
it was with different people, and it was always in the parking lot of an IKEA. And I was like,
Really?
why are we always in an IKEA parking lot?
I was
Apparently,
gonna say, how the fuck did you get to IKEA all the time? Like that's weird.
yeah. The weirdest flex is I had never set foot inside of an IKEA. I just did drugs in their parking lot all the time.
Now, mind you, I love IKEA, but it's not the full IKEA. Like my husband and I, Bobby Ray, we'd walk through the IKEA, and there's like a point. Actually, we always kind of targeted the like clearance or like whatever items, and then we'd find what we wanted, and then we would go and eat in their like cafeteria. Other than that, I don't know anything. I mean,
Yeah,
for real.
the aesthetic is not my aesthetic. So I remember when I finally went into
It's
an IKEA for the
very
first time. I was
minimalist.
disappointed. Yeah, very minimalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think is my style. Maybe once upon a time in my life, but not now.
Nah. Nah. I'm
Nah.
sorry. Go.
um. Oh, this is why I stopped doing cocaine because I never paid for it. It was always people offering it to me all the time, and I'm like, sure, if it's
Wow.
offered, why not? Why
No
not?
one has ever offered me cocaine. I'm not
Really,
complaining. I'm just saying. Go.
sadly, I remember Dare education, and I used to be a Dare educator and taught children how to say no to drugs that they were offered, and then completely fumbled the ball when I got older and people offered me drugs. Uh, but what they don't tell you as kids, probably because it's an inappropriate conversation, like if it were really attractive men that I kind of was interested in hooking up with, and they're like, want to do some coke, and I'm like, sure. Even though that's not good for sex because you're nothing works anymore. Um,
Agreed. Yeah.
yeah, bad idea.
By the
But
way, I've never been with any man who couldn't, but yeah.
yeah, coke will do that to you. Not a
Yeah.
great idea.
Agreed.
But anyway, so this was also in Austin, Texas. So this guy was talking to me and he was kind of cute. I couldn't make up my mind, but he was obviously trying to impress me. And he's like,
Mhm.
I have some coke. Do you want to do some coke in the bathroom? And I'm like, sure. So I go in the bathroom, we like do a line, and
Mhm.
it's bad coke. Like it's like bad quality coke, like not strong and not. And I like
Ew.
at him and I was like, is this shitty Coke? And then I was like, how the fuck do I know the difference between good and bad Coke? This
Right?
means you do too much of this drug and you need to stop.
No, no, no. It means he does too much. That
He,
he actually gets shit.
yeah, or he needs to get a better dealer, and I needed to take a personal inventory about my life choices, which is what I did.
100. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love it.
Yeah. Coke was interesting. I've done shrooms. I think it's easier and more socially acceptable to talk about shrooms because it's more spiritual. Shrooms is great.
I can see that.
You have to decide before you go into it that you're going to have a good trip because it is psychoactive. So if you think a bad thought, it's just going to balloon and spiral out of control. So you got to
Really?
know, yeah, it
Oh,
is
F
like
that. I'm never
heavy.
doing shrooms.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hells no.
You
No,
have
no,
to
no, no.
you have to be in really, really solid control of your train of thought and be able to be nothing but a positive train of thought for about 4 hours.
Wow.
Or if you start to have a bad trip, you got to know how to squash it and get back to a good trip.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that is maybe okay. One last story. My first
Yeah.
time doing
Do it.
shrooms was Florida. I was visiting my best friend's lesson, and we were with him and his friends, and we all decided to do shrooms. Half of us had never done shrooms before. The other half had done it maybe one time. And we took shrooms, and then we stood in a circle barefoot in the backyard to look at our feet. And then
Mhm.
someone set a kitchen timer, and like every like I think 30 minutes or 40 minutes, we would come back together in the backyard and stand in a circle and look at our feet. And you could like see people's journey through their feet because
Really?
like yeah, and like really
Wow.
obvious dumb ways. Like the person who wants to be like a forest nymph and run off into the woods and whatnot, They come back, there's like twigs stuck between their toes. It's like you went on a journey. Uh, that was a really cool mechanism, and it
Mhm,
kept us all together.
mhm,
But we like when we separated, I was trying to make it to hang out with everyone individually, but people like went to their own places. And so there was like the girl in the backyard who's like, I'm a fairy, and she's dancing around trees, and I was like, that's fun. And then my friend Lesson was like just laying on the grass staring at the stars. So I spent some time with him and like talking about the expansion of the universe and whatnot. And then there was somebody who was in the kitchen just like eating food. It was like going from station to station, and I usually would make it like one rotation, and then we had to come back and look at our feet.
mhm.
um and then somebody, we didn't realize this, somebody in our group didn't tell us that they had epilepsy, and then they had a fucking seizure
Oh
while
my
they were
gosh.
drinking. Yeah. It was
Wow.
intense. It was really intense. And we had to call 911, and everybody had to try to act like they were completely out of their mind when the ambulance showed up. And just like, act normal. And we were like, okay, I'm going to act normal. The wall is moving, but I'm going to act normal.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And my best friend, like, the ambulance comes, and we're like, he's fine, he'll be fine. Oh, mi amor, por favor, la luz. It's getting dark in here. Ah, okay. Um, so like the ambulance comes and they're talking to us, and we're like, we're just having a party. We had alcohol there, like we're just
Yeah.
having a party, but we hit all like the shroom stuff. Um, but then Lessa would be like, yo, man, the stars and the speed of it. And I'm like, shut up, shut the fuck
That's awesome. Oh my god, that's so awesome.
up. Like, wait until the ambulance leaves and we'll talk about the universe. But that was my first trip. It was fun despite the epilepsy event.
Got it. Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
then
my
we
god.
all went to Denny's back when that was a thing.
Yeah, Denny's hasn't been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
It's weird. Well, I think when Denny's decided they were gonna like up their prices, so like normal peeps couldn't do it because I like that was like a treat when Denny's was like you could get your like 2 eggs, pancakes, you could get your like uh uh fries and your I don't know, whatever else for like 5.99. And then all of a sudden they decided everything was like 12.99. And it was like, wait, what? I'm gonna make this at
Yeah.
home, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, so many periods of time in my life, Denny's was like the place.
Right.
Like when you were like after school drama club or whatever, all the theater kids go to Denny's. And then when you're like in your 20 something and you're the gay club kid, you always like went to Denny's before the night was over. Um, yeah, we don't, Mexico doesn't really have that equivalent though.
Honestly, thank God. Cause no, seriously, like I was like reading different like posts or whatever, and it was like this is because they're black, or this is because they're Latino, or this is because, and I'm like, actually, it's not. Like they're just looking at stats and seeing like where can they make money, and
Yeah.
if you're in that, then that like they don't care.
Yeah.
If they don't
Yeah.
care. They don't care if you're rich. They don't care if you're poor. All they care about is are they gonna make money off of you? Like that's it. Bottom line.
Yep. And like I've never cared for the Denny's Corporation, but the late night servers at Denny's were always awesome.
Agreed. They were
And they had to put up with
so
drunk
nice.
assholes. The patience,
Agreed.
the sheer patience.
All right. I think we have technically gone over.
Yep.
As always, Kiki, I totally love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyone watching,
Thank
we
you.
love you. Seriously, we love you. If
Yep.
you need anything, just reach out. So we
And
will
if
do.
you're watching, submit.
Yeah,
Submit stuff.
totally. Tell us what you want us to ask or answer, rather, and
Yeah.
we'll do it. Okay?
Yes.
Awesome.
Obviously, you can tell that we don't shy away from topics.
Oh my God, the shit we talk about, you people should be embarrassed. But we are like, I don't care. For real. Right? We're both like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right.
Yeah.
Love you guys. We are off. Have a fabulous week. All right. Dude.